Communications Commission. Issues at hand.
Once again, a very good morning and thank you for keeping it Church of Uganda Family TV. My name is Philip Mulisa, and this morning on Issues at Hand we are having a conversation on insurance. In other words, we are here to solve your problems, and certainly looking at the insurance sector, we have a body known as the Insurance Regulatory Authority in this country, and so they are here to share with us what the journey of insurance is about, and indeed what their mandate is, but also going forward what you need to know if you are to benefit from this whole industry that is operational in our country. And this morning in studios I'm privileged to host two very powerful lady and gentlemen who are going to share with us about everything insurance. But before we get into that, I will take the privilege of introducing them to you, but also inviting them to say hello to you, and certainly we shall get into the depth of the conversation. To begin with, I have Miss Mariam Nalunkuma. She is the Manager Corporate Affairs at the Insurance Regulatory Authority. Mariam, greetings, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you, Philip. Good morning, viewers. Thank you for hosting us. We're from the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda.
Thank you for coming, and certainly I'm told she's in charge of managing the biggest problems in insurance. So if you have all those challenges, just be in there and send in those questions. They are here to answer, and indeed you could leave this place with solutions to all those challenges. I also have Mr. Stephen Kadumokasa. He is the Manager Inspection. You will see him at your site. Manager, greetings, you welcome to the conversation.
Thank you, Philip, and a very good morning, our viewers. I want to take this opportunity to greet you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, and I want to thank Family TV for hosting us.
It is indeed our honor to have you this morning, and certainly the honor of our viewers to get to learn from the wisdom you're going to share with us this morning. And let us start here. You see, when we talk insurance and then Insurance Regulatory Authority, many times the assumption is that people actually know what insurance is, what the Insurance Regulatory Authority does, and everything to do with that. And it is actually a mistake. There are many persons in our societies that do not even understand what insurance is, and I've met these questions a couple of times. And Mariam, I want to start with you. To begin with, briefly, in the simplest terms, how can you describe this insurance, but also briefly the IRA and its mandate? What is it about?
Okay, thank you so much, Philip, and our viewers. When you hear the word insurance, insurance is protection. You're protecting yourself against the uncertainties. You're protecting yourself against those challenges that come to you that you've not planned for. You're protecting yourself against a financial loss, that in the event that that uncertainty happens and you have invested in it, you incur a loss. Many times, for example, Philip, you left home this morning. As you are coming, you're rushing to host this show, God forbid. If you're coming on the road, you get involved in an accident. Your plan was to have the show, but it so happens that you get involved in an accident. When you get involved in an accident, you will not be able to come to the show, but you will have injuries. And when you get these injuries, you will be taken to hospital. By the time you get that accident, you don't have any funds on you to say that in the event I get an accident, this is the money I'm going to use to treat myself. So what do you do in such a circumstance? You say, I will take up insurance for myself, or Family TV as management will take up insurance for its employees, so that in the event they get involved in an accident or at work, they get insurance. I'll give another example. Many people do business. When they do business, there are a number of risks that they are exposed to. I'll give an example of fire. And this you look at the fires that happen in markets. You look at the fires that happen at supermarkets. You look at fires that happen down Nachivo malls. Everyone there has invested. Whenever someone invests, they're expecting to reap. But as they invest, they don't protect themselves against the uncertainties that will happen. The most recent uncertainty to the business community were the floods, you remember. So people who had bought so many phones, they had brought in so many merchandise, they had their shops fully packed with different items to sell. When the rain came, all their items got destroyed. Now, in such a circumstance, you need insurance. Right now, we're seeing the rains happening, and we've also got information from the Meteorological Authority that the rains are going to go on up to probably end of March. Now, for a farmer, for some of the farmers, they're telling them to start. But there are those farmers who had already started on planting or going to the gardens. When the rains are too much, their crops get destroyed. When the sun is too much, their crops still get destroyed. Now, that uncertainty is something that befalls you without planning for it. But when you plan for it, it becomes very easy. And that is why insurance is very key in this case. Now, you said you wanted to relate it to the Insurance Regulatory Authority. Now, for all those uncertainties that happen out there, there is someone who can protect you. And that is what Stephen goes to inspect. That person is the insurance company.
All right, thank you so much. And very important things there to understand to begin with. There is a lot of uncertainties that get to happen in our day-to-day living, in our workplaces, in our homes. We have now children at school, and a lot of things can happen to them as they go on with their academic business. You know, those of you in the transport sector, those of you in academia, in real estate, and all these things, we know that a couple of challenges can come up in that particular arena. So certainly, Mariam here tells us that actually insurance is there to make sure that you get out of that crisis moment as and when it unfolds in your life. And briefly before I let you go, the question that often comes when you talk about all those good things about insurance, you know, in our country there is that famous saying of "Teria yambanga talina wafa." So what is this insurance that is telling me that they are going to help me at a point of crisis? Who are they? Are they Jesus Christ that they are sacrificing to come and assist me? How does that work?
They are not Jesus Christ. They are actually protecting, like I said, they are protecting you against a financial loss. That for all the monies that you put into your business, all the monies that you've invested in yourself, you've heard of people who protect their very expensive television sets at home. That's taken as property insurance, or a very nice car. When the uncertainty comes, you've seen these people, the way they wail, the way they look at the future, that bakomi, they cannot move ahead. Now, insurance helps you to move the next step. You're not going to get stuck at any one point in time if you have insurance. But if you don't have insurance, you're going to think about your children falling out of school, dropping out of school. You're going to actually fall sick. You're going to think of so many other things that are going to affect you. But when you have insurance, and that's why I said insurance is not Jesus. Jesus is another, divine. That's divine. This one is protecting yourself against a financial loss. So how this relates to the Insurance Regulatory Authority? Now, the insurance companies are the ones that take up these risks. They take up the risk. You transfer the problem from yourself to an insurance company, so that in the event it happens, you just notify the insurance company and it takes over, and then they compensate you. The issue in it is the compensation that you get after getting insurance.
All right, thank you so much, Mariam, for that. And Stephen, this brings me to you very closely, because Mariam here told us that actually you are the person that goes to the field out there, to find out what happened and certainly assess whether person A or B will be compensated or not. And this is where the problem is. Many at times people say we enroll to these insurance companies and the different policies they offer, we pay our premiums, then when you get a problem, these people actually do not want to pay you. Let us start there. Why don't you want to pay our people? And two, in any case, even when you pay them, some say they don't pay you the value that is equivalent to the property or the item you insured. And how do we even get to this position? It creates mistrust.
Okay, thank you, Philip. I think the issue is not these companies paying, but probably what we could refer to is the information that is required for these to the public to enable them understand how the process runs. In most cases, people may not know the process that should be undertaken for them to be paid, and in such a circumstance, people will come out and say insurance companies don't want to pay. But what I can testify and what I can confirm, because I sit at the Insurance Regulatory Authority, I visit these companies, I can really confirm that insurance companies are paying. Payments are being made in terms of payouts for claims that occur. And when I talk of claims, I mean genuine claims, because of course, Philip, you are aware, particularly in Uganda, there are so many unrealistic or fraudulent claims, and in most cases, people who present these fraudulent claims are the ones who will come out and shout a lot that our claims are not being paid.
Perhaps, and maybe very importantly, before you leave that point, or perhaps it is the insurance companies that are selling policies they actually cannot deliver on. You give a lot of promises to this client, but when the problem comes up, you realize it is not business-wise feasible for you to cater for all that challenge, and you choose to just move around corners and circles.
Well, I must say that for cases where insurance companies come in and probably don't want to pay, there may be cases of mis-selling at a certain point where, you know, as Mariam has intimated, insurance companies have foot soldiers, agents, and these are the people actually who go out and sell these insurance policies. In some cases, an insurance agent may not give a detail of what the policy is, and at the point of a loss, probably the client who was taken on by this insurance company may not be in know of the kind of policy they were sold, because these policies have conditions and exceptions. But all in all, and I was saying that I sit at the Insurance Regulatory Authority and I look at the statistics. Insurance companies are actually paying. Because when you look at the statistics, for the past year, insurance companies were able to pay over 880 billion. 880 billion approximately in claims. So that one signifies or tells us as the authority that insurance companies are what? Are paying. But what are the processes that should be undertaken? Probably that is where we should now come from. What are the processes that should be undertaken for one to make a claim? You find that different products have different processes that should be undertaken, but in most cases, people would not want to follow some of these procedures. I may give an example. For example, motor insurance cover. Ordinarily, a motor insurance cover would cover you against theft, against accident. For one to claim under that particular product, in case an accident has occurred, you are supposed to have made a report to the police. But you find that most of our people would not want to visit the police after the accident because probably there are certain reasons, like one may not have a driving permit, may not, because would want to be on the road and should be authorized, and want to be authorized to drive a car should have a driving permit. So in that case, if a person doesn't have a driving permit, they are not eligible to do what?
Right.
To drive, and they are not eligible to put in a claim. But in most cases, we found out that these people who are not eligible are the ones that are actually coming out and saying that insurance companies don't pay.
You see, Stephen, many of the things you talk about point to knowledge, having the understanding of what I'm supposed to do, having the understanding of what I can claim or not claim, having the understanding of what are the requirements I am supposed to have if I am a driver, like you mentioned, or if I'm running this business, I'm supposed to be registered and so on for me to qualify to go and claim whenever there is a loss. And that's where I ask, at your level as the Insurance Regulatory Authority, are you doing anything in terms of making persons in this beautiful country, Uganda, aware of some of these things they're supposed to do? Especially, you talk about the transport sector. I think this is one of the most fragile sectors we have in our economy. We have borders, we have taxis, we have, of course, personal vehicles, we have the big vehicles, the buses and trucks. What is IRA doing to assist some of these people understand what they are supposed to have, what they need to do, and certainly when there is a problem, how they are supposed to go about it?
Okay, thank you, Philip. Certainly as the authority, we interact with society and with the policy holders. And as you've mentioned, this is something that is very key. And as the authority, we've come out to carry out public awareness. And that's the reason we are here. We keep on carrying out public awareness, sensitizing masses here and in our regional offices, so that people are aware of what is required for one to make a claim. But that aside, we've also gone ahead to guide the industry and also mandate them to sensitize their policyholders. And we've also required them to go into detail and explain to policyholders before they take on any kind of product. We've asked the insurance companies to come up with summarized key facts documents. And when I talk of a key facts document, this is kind of a summary that will have all the detail of what a policy should have. Because we've noticed that in most cases, most people take on, and insurance is very technical, that some of these people may not easily understand what is in the wording. So we've asked insurance companies to go down and break it down in plain English, so that a person gets to understand what actually the product they are taking on. Because we've come into challenges, and I sit in the complaints bureau where majority of the people don't understand some of these policies. So we have asked insurance companies to come up with key facts documents that highlight those key aspects that a person who's taking on an insurance cover should be in the know, or should understand. So that by the time a person gets on that policy, assuming it's a motor policy, it's an agriculture policy, he or she is aware of what they are taking on. For example, if it's a motor policy, a person may want to know what is covered. And in case of a loss, what should I do? How is the claiming process? What are the procedures? So all those are supposed to be broken down. And as you've intimated, when we go out there to inspect, these are some of the things that we look at.
So maybe the authority has set that out, but have you done any follow-ups with the companies to see that they are doing this because I know we have a series of companies, some of them are even just operating online, and I think we should have that conversation a little later. But how is compliance with some of these guidelines you've set out from the companies?
Thank you, Philip. And in terms of compliance, the authority has strictly come through to see that these companies comply with the guidelines that we've issued. We've issued quite a number of guidelines that include the claim guidelines, in which these insurance companies are supposed to pay claims. And we've also stated the periods in which they are supposed to pay. For example, a motor claim that is approximately 10 million should be paid within a period of 1 week. And when we go there as inspection teams, these are things that we look at, and these are things that that guide us on to coming up with these guidelines and policy. And I must say that the authority is really hard on these insurers that don't honor some of these timelines.
There is a wide sentiment in the public out there that actually some of these insurance companies, many of whom are based out of the country, they just come in here as any other investors that come in the country, are too big for the authority to regulate. What is about that?
I have not seen such, because let it be an indigenous, let it be a foreign, they all have to comply with the requirements of the authority, because before you come into the operations of being an insurance company, there are quite a number of requirements that you need to fulfill. And at the authority, let it be a big multinational company, those requirements should be met. Let it be an indigenous company, those requirements are also met.
All right. Thank you so much, Stephen, for that. And certainly we hope that indeed every company is managed and indeed complies with regulations that within our country here, Uganda. And there we are, insurance, there we are with the Insurance Regulatory Authority, and here we are getting into a very short break here at Issues at Hand, and indeed we shall be right back.
Issues at Hand. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. Issues at Hand.
We'll be back from that very short break. It is Issues at Hand here on Church of Uganda Family TV, and this morning we are discussing insurance. We are discussing what it actually means and is doing for Uganda, and we are privileged to host the Insurance Regulatory Authority in our studios today by two amazing people, Miss Mariam Nalunkuma and Mr. Stephen Kaddu Mukasa, who are telling us everything insurance and what you need to know, what you should do and what you should not do if you are to benefit from this beautiful sector. And Mariam, coming back, I want to start with you. You see, Stephen told us about how insurance paid over 880 billion shillings in claims through last year, and it's a big figure. It's a big figure, but we're also talking about an economy of about between 50 to 60 billion dollars, and this is just 880 billion. I would want to imagine that when you try to create percentages of that, it is a very meager percentage. And this is where I'm going. From the regulatory level, what does it look like in terms of number of Ugandans that are actually enrolled for different insurance policies across the board? And understandably it is low. If it is, what is the problem?
Okay. Before we get into the low numbers, in terms of insurance contribution to our economy, we collect, or insurance companies contribute what we call gross written premium. Now, gross written premium might be a little technical, but maybe to break it down, the money that customers pay to insurance companies to be protected. When you look at 2024, which is the previous year, we collected close to 2 trillion. Now the 2 trillion and what Stephen was talking about in terms of claims payment, you see 2 trillion and almost half of it is paid in claims. That now justifies and gives you evidence of what is being paid out in claims. But in terms of its contribution to the GDP, of course, whereas it may look a little small, but it is something. When you look at most of the infrastructures in this country, they are provided insurance. You look at the Jagali, you look at the road sector, you look at the properties that we have. The contribution is a little, it looks little, but to the GDP it's quite substantive. Now, the reason, the numbers in terms of people who have got insurance, it also looks small, but very many people are insured. And I will give an example of, for example, medical insurance. When you take a medical insurance policy, it is not just one person. Now, it will be Mariam with her husband, with how many other dependents. Many of the insurance companies are giving insurance protection to close to 5 dependents. So now, those are how many people. In total, we have about, of course, we have about 2 million Ugandans who are insured, but that is for their lives. But when it comes to property, when you look at the different properties that are insured, it is quite big. The penetration is what is still disturbing in terms of how many people are accessing it. People are buying individually in terms of institutions are buying for their employees, people that have big infrastructures are buying, but Philip going out to buy his own insurance cover is where the missing link is. And what is the authority doing? The authority has moved a step higher and is promoting and encouraging insurance companies to come up with micro insurance products. Micro for the low income earners. We tend to think that insurance is for the rich or those that have, but that is a myth. It is not true. Insurance is for everyone. That's why you see we keep calling on insurance companies to tailor products that meet the needs of the people, the needs of those people in Chikubo, the needs of those people in the different farms. Border cyclists today, no border cyclist today takes up a border without getting insurance. They are protected. So we are moving that step so that every Ugandan accesses insurance. But the bigger the bigger problem has been in access, and this is where now we are also moving away from. The sector has been too manual. You're now getting into the digitized systems, and people can now access different products. We shall talk about the different products that are accessed on phone. But the bigger challenge has been, whereas people do understand that insurance is there, they still don't trust insurance. And this is an issue that comes way back from the 1980s. In the 1980s, when there was a devaluation of our currency, it really affected the insurance sector specifically. Why? Because for someone who had for example, taken up an insurance cover for life and had saved, for example, about 3 million, there was that deduction of the 3 zeros or 2 zeros, so the money reduced substantially. So if you had your 3 million and they remove 3 zeros, you remain with only 30,000, and that really demotivated many people. So whereas we left that was in the 90s, we are now in the new century. We are telling people that we should forget that. We are not going to have another devaluation of our currency. We are moving forward. And we're encouraging people to take up microinsurance products. We are creating awareness that the issues of confidence have been mainly lying in non-payment of claims. And this is what Stephen has talked about, that the regulator has actually come up with claims guidelines, timelines that are really set out for insurance companies to be paying claims. And that's why you see, whereas he talks about the 5, those are the ones that we put in place, but when they go to do inspections, they actually find that some insurance companies instantly pay claims. If someone has submitted all the documentations, on that very day, a claim is settled. So the issues of awareness is what we are still grappling with, but we are trying to go out and I think that's why we are also here on Family TV, because we know Family TV is watched by so many people, and this is an opportunity for us to create this awareness.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Stephen, she talks about the micro-insurance products. And one of the things that come out with that is Uganda, we are running largely the informal sector. People in the farming, she spoke about people in Chikuo. Yes, you have those that are formal, but you also have largely those that are informal. You have people doing all sorts of things. When you go to Katwe, you have a lot of people there that are doing different sets of work. And I want to ask, to begin with, what is the Insurance Regulatory Authority doing to see that some of these people can be brought on board? And you see that requires formalization. But you are telling my grandmother in Chanamukaka or in Mbale, who is growing their coffee or probably rearing their chicken, that please, you need to come out here and pay this company some money, and when your chicken dies, they will be able to compensate you. What is the plan? What is ERA doing to see that these people can be brought on board, and how does the future look like?
Thank you, Philip. Well, I must say that a lot is being done at the authority to see that we introduce what we call inclusive insurance. And when I talk of inclusive insurance, it encompasses these micro insurance products that will cater for the low income or the informal sector. Yes, I must agree, and you may also agree with me that in the past decades, insurance has been taken as a product for the elites and for the rich, and which has been a very bad and misleading concept, because insurance is here for all. So at the authority, we have decided to have this broken down, and we have come up with guidelines, and we have gone, as Mariam has said, we have gone ahead to encourage insurance companies to adopt these inclusive and micro insurance products. At the moment, we have quite a number. We have over, I think there are 4 micro insurance providers, and the conventional insurers that we have are also selling micro insurance. So all of this is geared towards having the informal and the low income earners included in the whole ecosystem. Yes, you've mentioned that how do we bring on board this person who's in the village, who's rearing a small number of chicken, a small number of cows. Yes, we've done that. We have, I may say, we have products under agriculture that have brought on board those kind of people, whereby we have small scale farmers, and these small scale farmers are actually even given a subsidy under those arrangements where government has actually, through the IRA, we have gone ahead to engage government and tell them that, government, we are here to protect people, and these people we are protecting are small income earners, they are small farmers. How do we bring them on board? Because going to a person who has maybe 1 cow or 2 cows and telling them that you're going to pay premium probably over 200,000, maybe a tall order. And we've engaged with government. Government has said, okay, I realize that you're important. I am going to give a subsidy. And government has given subsidy to these small farmers. That a farmer who is in Chanamukaka, who's in Mtiana with a small number of cows, and is supposed to take on insurance, government has actually subsidized by 50% of some of these premiums. So you find that a person who's supposed to pay 200,000 is paying less, is paying maybe 100,000 to see that they are also included. So all these informal sectors are being helped to see that we bring them, actually the small and medium, that's where we are concentrating, to see that we bring them on board so that we encourage them and be able to be part of the entire ecosystem.
All right, thank you so much for that. And Mariam, when I come back to you, I have 2 things for you. To begin with, you spoke about health insurance, and I wanted to ask you about the status of the national health insurance policy that has been in conversation for a long time. But even before we get there, I have a specific question here from one of our viewers here who says, I go to this company and I'm getting a family policy for health, and they say we shall cover yourself, your husband, and your children. And this person is asking, but I want my parents also to be a part of this policy, but this company is not accepting. What is the problem? This is a very specific question from a client, and I'm asking, okay, where does family stop? Is her direct question.
Okay. Where does family stop? And this is where we're talking about tailored products. If that insurance company is not giving you what you want, you're shopping. That's why we have about 33 insurance companies. Move to the next one that can give you what you're interested in. We're moving away from the traditional. Of course, there are some insurance companies that are still very traditional, that they will stick to the wife, husband, or wife and spouse, and the children, and they would not want to bring on parents. But for majority of those insurance companies that are providing actually medical, they don't mind who else you're bringing on board. And we've also moved away there was that notch of we don't provide insurance for the aged. That has changed. You move to an insurance company, you tell them, I want to provide cover for my parents. Even if the parent is 60, of course they are high risk, but if you're ready to pay the premiums that are detailed to you and you accept, there is no problem. So we are moving away from, I would advise that person to go shopping. Insurance is open.
Very, very important. And
yes.
We talk about, for example, policies that include the aged. I know this has been a very big problem, not just here in Uganda. When you look outside, for example, I remember the Obamacare Act that came in force in the United States during the presidency of Barack Obama. It was part of it was as a result of insurance companies refusing to guarantee some of those challenges, older persons, people that have illnesses that. So I think it's an area
and that is where the sector is transforming. It is really transforming from the traditional conservative, way of doing business. Why? Because we're looking at inclusivity. If I don't have a child and I can take care and I can provide premiums for my parents, why wouldn't you? If one insurance company is not giving you that, then you go to another insurance company that is ready to provide you the service. An update on the National Health Insurance Scheme. Yes, It's still at cabinet level. Discussions were held between IRA, the Ministry of Health, and now it's at cabinet. Of course, we know the status that has been happening. We've been into a political environment, so no one would give it attention. But now that they are now all settled, we can now have this.
Hopefully it gets resolved in there, and we get it rolled out in our country, because it will be very helpful to the families out there. Many challenges keep on happening as far as accessing medical care is concerned. But still with you, Mariam, moving on. You see, I've heard of this so-called annual insurance week, and I've had many weeks from different government entities, and I want to understand from the Insurance Regulatory Authority, what is the annual insurance week? What is it doing? Is it are you taking all insurers out on a picnic, maybe the shores of Lake Victoria to have fun? What is happening, and what should Ugandans look out for?
Okay, we are not going out for a picnic. We are moving out of the Insurance Regulatory Authority is calling all the insurance players to move out of their comfort offices. They are very comfortable in their offices, to go out and interact with the public. And this is what we've been talking about. People don't get that opportunity to speak to them. You probably reach out to one agent. A person like this is only looking out to one insurance company. The annual insurance week, this is going to be the 5th one. It happens every year, and the concept that IRA came up with this initiative was, can we put ourselves to the public to come and ask questions? I know even if we had 2 hours here, we cannot finish all the questions about insurance. So the Insurance Regulatory Authority, partnering with other players, the Insurance Training College, the association, the different associations in the sector, agreed that we should have a week long. In fact, this time it's going to be 8 days with a weekend, where we're going to have all insurance players coming to talk to the public. People have policies that they don't understand. A case in point is what you've just shared. People have complaints. People have issues that relate to claims that have been delayed. There are insurance experts that are going to be there. This is going to happen from the 19th of March to the 26th of March. And this time round, the theme is Future Eri Kushua Ne Insure, literally meaning that the future is with you when you is assured with insurance. If you have insurance, you are assured of your future. So we're calling on the public to come. It's going to happen at Constitutional Square, just around here. And like we said, it's inclusive. We want each and everyone to come and ask questions. Come and tell us, not only IRA, come and show us that insurance company that has delayed paying your claim. Maybe you didn't know where they are located. This is an opportunity for everyone to come and interact with the insurance service providers. There are so many other things that are going to happen. I could also mention that we've also partnered with NIRA. So for most of the public that have not yet renewed, replaced their national IDs, marriage certificates, they can still come, do that, but also, most importantly, get information about insurance. This is a co-organized event that we feel if the public comes in to talk to us, they will get to know. And it is not only happening, and my colleague will also talk about that. It's not only happening in Kampala. You can pick it up from there.
Yes, Stephen, as you pick it up, I want to still understand from the event. To begin with, is it an open event that everyone is free to come in? Are there any requirements you must have to come and access the venues?
Oh, yes. Many of those engagements require that people pay. The public is free to come. It is going to be open entry. It is free entry, no charge, no what. Just come, because we noted that people have a challenge with understanding what insurance is all about. So we cannot then start asking people to pay and enter. No, it's going to be free entry. Come and interact, do consultation, ask as many questions as you can. If you have an insurance-related complaint, definitely insurance-related complaint, it shouldn't be a land problem that you're coming to ask about the insurance experts. It should be an insurance-related complaint, because we actually, at the different centers we are going to have this, we also have a complaints desk. So anyone who has a complaint against any insurance company, they should bring in their complaints. We shall address them. We shall help them understand where the complexity is, and we're here to serve the public.
All right, Stephen, building onto this, what should Ugandans look out for in the annual insurance week?
As my colleague has mentioned, this is an area of exhibition where we as insurers and insurance companies and other stakeholders come into play to display our products. Mariam has explained that there's going to be quite a number of knowledge sharing. We're going to have experts who are going to explain in detail of some of these products that are being sold. Also, we're going to display the new technologies that the industry has adopted. Remember, as she said, initially we were manual, but now the industry has transformed into a technological kind of industry, whereby now products are being sold online, products are being rolled out into a digital kind of ecosystem. So all these are going to be displayed, and the public is encouraged to come and interact and get to know what is being done. However, she did mention that this is going to be done in the central region here at the Constitutional Square. However, we have other regional branches, and these branches are in east, west, and northern regions. And we believe that we also need to support and give the same service that we are giving here to the people in those regions. So during this insurance week, we have arranged the same arrangement that is here with our regional offices. It may not be as big as it's going to be here, but it's going to transform into that kind of arrangement, where we shall have teams there sensitizing, where we shall have insurers exhibiting, where we are going to have healthy camps, and we encourage people to go, because majority of our policy holders may not go for this testing, these healthy whatever checkups, which is very, very key. So we are going to have this done. We are also having other stakeholders from the financial sector. For example, we may have Bank of Uganda there. You are getting loans, and these loans usually have insurance as part of it. Do you know what is covered under the insurance arrangement that is done by the bank? These are things that we may have a DPF, that is the Deposit Protection Fund. We may have Uganda Retirement Benefits Authority. So all of these, and you're going to get a full cocktail of ideas from the financial sector, but spearheaded by the insurance industry.
And briefly, before I let you go, Stephen, again, the point of claims and where maybe insurance companies do not pay or delayed ones. Oftentimes people, when they get into these situations, they run to court. Are there any remedies at the IRA in terms of correcting these challenges before you run to court, which often is very expensive and lengthy?
Thank you, Philip. At the authority, we realized that actually most people were not even going to court. They were reluctantly, shying away and giving up. And we said no. As the authority, we came up with a complaints bureau. This is a bureau that has professional experts that are there to protect you, the policy holder, against. Because we know that insurance companies are able, and they are the issuers of these policies. They know how to interpret these policies. But you, the person who has bought this policy, may not be able to interpret. And in case of a claim, you may not be able to understand what exactly is to be paid and what is supposed to be. So we have a complaints bureau that has lawyers, that has technical expertise, and these people will interpret and help you understand this claim. And this, we encourage the public that in case you have any challenges relating to insurance, please contact the Insurance Regulatory Authority, particularly the Complaints Bureau. You will be helped, because I can testify that quite a number of people have gained and have been compensated where insurance companies have refused to.
Thank you so much, Stephen. And Mariam, lastly, maybe a call to the public to participate in the annual insurance week as it approaches 19th to 26th. That's really close.
Yes, that's really close. And we call on to the public, if you have an insurance-related issue, please come to the Constitutional Square from the 19th to 26th, free entry in Mbale. If you happen to go to Mbale, you'll go to Uganda Christian University campus. That's where the base is going to be. In Mbarara, if you happen to be in Mbarara or to go to Mbarara within that week, you will go to Amazon Square. And if you go to Gulu, of course, it's a whole week. If you go to Gulu, you will go to Peche Green Square. So I encourage the public, let's interact, come and interact with us, come and get to know more about insurance. Philip had so many questions. There is a lot that we've not talked about. We've not talked about IRA being the regulator of this growing and transforming sector, but we are happy that you've given us an opportunity to come and talk to the audience at Family TV. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And we've been discussing insurance, and you had the promise that if you have any challenges with your insurance company, with your retailer or whoever it is, just visit IRA offices. You will be assisted in that particular regard, but also for any form of consultation, information you need about this sector, please 19th to 26th be at the Constitutional Square, so that you get to access some of these services, be taken through the knowledge setup of this industry, and indeed you will appreciate and be a part of this whole ecosystem in our economy. Ms. Mariam Nalunkuma, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for sharing with us all the knowledge, and indeed Mr. Stephen Kadumukasa, thank you so much for your time and sharing with us all this excuse me, about insurance. And to you, our amazing viewers, thank you so much for keeping it Church of Uganda Family TV and precisely issues at hand, and those of you that have been with us since 6 a.m. to where we are now, thank you so much for keeping it here, and please do stay with us for more of our programming that does enrich your lives. My name is Philip Mulisa, and a good morning.
Issues at hand.